Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom podcast. Again, we have some very special guests. Aleah Arundale. Arundale? Is that how you say it? I butchered that big time. I'm sorry. And of course, my lovely co-host, Lisa Dillon from Southern Jewelry News, and I'm Guy Panetta with Jewelry Store Marketers, and here we are talking about jewelry and all kinds of fun stuff, I think, especially with Aleah on the podcast. So welcome, Aleah. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Guy, I know you share my passion. I mean, jewelry schmooly. It's about marketing, right? I mean, I can sell a pet rock. You can sell anything. It's really how you market it. So I'm so excited. I know you're passionate about marketing, and to be able to connect with another marketing lover over here.
We're all marketing fiends. We love it. You're talking our language, right? We all.
Right. Hey, Aleah, I was wondering, how do you? I got a son that doesn't want to eat its broccoli. How do you do that?
It is so interesting how everything in life is sales. I mean, you want to get your kid to eat broccoli. You want to get that seat upgrade on the plane. You know, anything you really want is really sales. And it's, even in college, they always have like a, business school, and they teach marketing and they teach finance and stuff, but they don't teach sales, like just selling stuff. And if you really learn how to sell, I mean, your whole life is going to be better. So I think that, there's two things in sales that are really important. I mean, there's tons of passion and confidence are ones that I really think. I mean, any politician, you have no idea what they're saying half the time, and no one's even listening. They just know if they're passionate and confident because that's what people really respond to.
Right. I'm just curious, Aleah, has anybody ever told you that you are boring?
No, and I know they might not even be listening. I just sound like I know what I'm talking about. I sound enthusiastic, and enthusiasm is contagious, and passion is contagious. I mean, I'm sure that's how every military leader or sports coach, it's the same thing. They want to get their team to the goal line, and you want to get that credit card number. So I mean, either way, that is, you do that by getting people excited. A lot of things, and the confidence it's so interesting to me how people are not that confident. Like Facebook, do you know why Facebook's so popular? It's the likes. So sometimes we don't know if we like something, but if Becky likes it and Beth likes it, well, then we like it too. And it makes us more confident. And I think that if when people go into a retail store, they go because they don't know what they wanted. If they knew what they wanted, they would have just added to cart and bought it. They don't know. So they come into your store because they don't know, and they're waiting for you to be confident. You shouldn't say, "Oh, do you like how this ring looks on you?" No, tell them it's the best thing I've ever seen. It's, Taylor Swift has one just like it. It brings out their eyes. It looks amazing on their skin tone. They just want to hear somebody who is confident. That's really a key in sales.
Absolutely.
How does I know you put out a newsletter and help others, and through Jewelers Helping Jewelers, there's a lot of help there. Do you have any stories of people that took your advice and stepped up the confidence and enthusiasm and really and saw the difference? A lot of people, I hope, take my advice. I'm sure, Guy, it's hard to write a column every week and then hear people not doing what you told them. I told you to do this. Why don't you go do it? And so thankfully, people have come back and said that they, I think the advice that most people seem to take mine is how to combat online sales. So, a customer will say, "Oh, I saw like a GVS one somewhere else." And I do a lot of coaching on telling the customer, telling the jeweler what they should say. There's so many things. Number one, you didn't see anything online. You saw nothing. You saw a listing, but you didn't actually see a 1-carat GVS because it's like you think you saw this beautiful girl online and she turned out to be a fat dude, like you don't know what she really is. And so I help a lot of jewelers really be confident about that. Also with their pricings, they think that they know what the cost of a ring is. So they're so tempted to price it based on the cost of materials. Well, it weighs, this much grams and this much carats. And so
therefore I should charge this much. And that's not why people buy. People buy because they love something. And if they love something, it really doesn't matter, and they buy from you because their dad bought from you. They buy from you because they went to the same church as you. They buy from you because you gave to the local breast cancer run. That's why they buy for you. So if that's why they buy from you, why are you, discounting 20% on this, So that's a whole nother thing. I definitely talked to jewelers a lot about raising their prices. There was a treadmill company, and they were charging $1,200 for a treadmill. All they did was double their price to $2,400, and sales went up 20%. Let me say this again. They did nothing else but double their price, and sales went up, because people think if something's more expensive, then it's better. And so, yes, you have to give people the feeling of the deal, and you still have to tell them why it's a value. You still have to say this, but the price doesn't really matter. It doesn't. The sellers think it does, but it's really, the value and how it's presented. I have a more recent story in my life, and so it's of course more relevant to me because it just happened. But in me, it was such a sales marketing epiphany that I'd love to share it with you. So I was just in Vegas, and of course, there's always talk about Kimberly process and ethical diamond sourcing, responsible, is always a hot topic, especially Martin Rappaport. He gives a speech every year, and this is his, baby, so he's very into it. So anyway, I was talking to expert marketer Martine DeWitt, and he is brilliant. He was a Hearts on Fire University teacher for 15 years, which if anybody follows Hearts on Fire, I mean, those guys can sell. People are like, yes, it is the most world's perfectly cut diamond, brainwashed, okay? They're that good at sales. So anyway, he's a sales genius. And I was talking to him, and I was like, Martin, I don't think people want ethical diamonds, and they don't care about responsible diamonds, because I, Aleah Arundale, was a diamond seller, and I went on the road for 15 years. And 5 of those years, I tried to sell Canadian diamonds. And Canadian diamonds are ethically sourced, they're green, but nobody would buy them. So therefore, people don't want them. And Martin said, no, anyone can want anything if you just market it right. You should not have sold Canadian diamonds. You should have sold North American diamonds. Think about it. Do Americans care about Canada? No, it's like hockey and maple syrup or whatever. But Americans care about America, because that's their story and that's personal. You should have went and be like, do you know you can have a North American diamond? What? Diamonds come in America? Yes, America has some of the most wonderful diamond mines. America has a beautiful diamond. You can have an American diamond. Yes, that's a game changer. You made it personal to them, and you made it part of their story. And so to me, it's so interesting. All right, one more part on this is I said, yeah, but Martin, they cost a little bit more. And he said, no, they don't. They cost what diamonds should cost. Every other diamond is priced wrong. Whoa, mind blowing, right? How is that? I mean, that can rephrase anything. Let's say you're selling, ethical source, carrots, or you have, what is it? Organic. You're selling organic carrots, and you say, oh, organic carrots are so expensive. No, they're not expensive. They're what there should be if it's produced right. So everything in life is just, how is it packaged? How is it presented? It changes the whole story. And that's why I'm so obsessed with marketing.
Yeah. What about that? You had something on there that I thought was interesting about showing pricing. This was a big topic. People aren't showing the price tags. And I think you've helped a lot of people by telling them, put your prices out there. I thought that was just some great advice. I, as a consumer shopper, I cannot stand when I pick something up and I can't see the price on it. I don't want to ask somebody. I'm just in my head. And I think that helped a lot of people. I think you got a lot of positive feedback about actually showing some of your pricing on the tags.
I am so honored. It's one of those things that I'm sure guys understands, that you're just so excited that people are listening. I don't even talk about it. I yell and scold people. I will come and smack their hand and be like, bad jeweler, come on. We are dinosaurs in this part. We are archaic. I mean, there is nobody left that doesn't put transparent pricing. I mean, it is so stupid. First of all, it makes you look like you're ashamed of your pricing. If I don't see a price, like a vendor, or especially at like wholesale level, they are so dumb it shows not to have a price because it makes me think that it's too high.
Right.
That you're too, so you're actually creating the opposite result. And plus, people, you know who buys? Empowered people buy. Ashamed people do not buy. So a guy comes in your store, he already knows nothing. He doesn't even want to be there. He's got to spend the most money he's ever bought on a rock that's not even for him. And now you have the audacity to like castrate him and give him not even what the prices are. I mean, you got to give the guys something here. I mean, these poor guys. I've heard of guys fainting in jewelry stores, throwing up in jewelry stores, and they should. They should. You give them nothing. I mean, can you imagine if you walked into an appliance store and you wanted to buy a refrigerator and you had to wait and hear about each refrigerator, you even heard the price? I mean, you walk right out. No other industry does it. In Costco, the reason they sell so many rings and stuff is they have the prices right there. They make it easy. If you make it easy for people to give you money, they will give you money. If you make it hard for people to give you money, they won't. Do you know before Uber, there was Magic Cab? Uber didn't have such a great idea. They just made it so easy. And that's what customers want. They just want it easy. And putting a price, and you don't even have to, let's say you really don't want to put a price on your case. You can still put a price range. I actually love the idea of a price range. So let's say when you're showing a ring, someone says, "Oh, how much is this ring?" You say, "Oh, it's between $2,000 and $4,000." What? Well, did you know we can make this same ring with lower quality diamonds or higher quality? We can make it in platinum, and we can make it. And this is good for a lot of reasons. Number one, it shows that we can personalize the ring for you, and everyone likes it personalized. Number two, anyone who was scared by price now isn't scared by price because they know it could be work for them. Number three, it limits them shopping around. And number four, you can even upsell now that they know. So if you write 2,000 to 4,000, I think that's a great entry for people that are too scared to put a price. Start off with a price range.
Yeah, great advice. Great pearls of wisdom.
Hey, all right, pearls and diamonds.
Throwing it out there for y'all today.
We have the right guess.
On the pricing, is you never. So another thing about the price is the way you phrase it. You should never, ever say this ring costs $3,000 because cost is associated with loss. You can say you can acquire this ring for $3,000 or the value of this ring are $3,000 because both of those things are positive and they sound like gaining.
Yeah, like you could
all
own
about
this.
How you package it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get all your knowledge? I know you've come from, you've been in the industry for a while. I read that I saw a picture of, I think there was an article about you and your father.
Oh, yeah.
In Southern Jewelry News as well. Where did you get all this knowledge and enthusiasm you have for the jewelry industry?
So I grew up in a retail jewelry store. My father was a jeweler and his father, when I was born, they said it's a jeweler. I knew that I was being a jeweler. So I came back from GIA and they had filled my brain with all this technical BS. And I got into the sales floor and I was out there and I was telling people what percentage of beryllium is in an emerald. And nobody cared and nobody wanted to buy that. So my dad said, why don't you go and try wholesale for a little bit in Chicago? So my family store is about 3 hours from Chicago. I got a job as a diamond wholesaler. So the first day, they just hand me this red book, which is JBT, a list of jewelers, and they say, sell some diamonds. I don't know anything. I cried the first 2 days at work. I didn't know. I ended up calling everyone I knew that was in sales, a cousin, anybody. And then I just went to the library. I got, the red book of selling. I got how to win friends and influence people. I got everything. And I started listening to every single YouTube and reading every video. And even then I just got in the car and I would drive to a jewelry store and it'd be scary. I'd often have to pull down my rearview mirror and look in the, rearview mirror and say, you can do this. And people like you and they want to buy diamonds from you and everything to get the confidence. But no, just like riding a bike or playing tennis, I just trained myself to sell. And it's a wonderful skill. I mean, I was at Target and this lady was looking for a comforter and I brought her back to my house and sold her my comforter. Okay. If you can sell, you can just sell anything. It's a passion for a real salesperson. The game becomes the set. It doesn't even matter what you sell or the number. It's just making the sale is the joy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, you've done so well with selling jewelry, but you've also sold the idea of jewelers helping jewelers, and you've created such an amazing network of people. And I was looking through it earlier, and I'm like, my gosh, there are so many people posting, and there's such an active community. Um, and you see a lot of posts saying, "Oh, thank you, Aleah.
Yeah.
A jeweler's help with jewelry really helped me. I sold this many." How did this come about? How did you organize all this? It's such
Thank
a
you. I mean,
amazing.
I certainly have my all-time favorite stories. Jonathan Figler was able to adopt two beautiful girls because his business was doing so well because Jewelers Helping Jewelers. Niraj was able to buy his grandmother a house in India. There is Jay Kareen in Oregon. She is a single mom with 4 kids, and she was a bench jeweler trying to support them. And because JHJ, she met another jeweler who lent her the equipment to open up her own store. And her dream was to open up an own store, and she was able to do it. Melissa Denny said she was able to open up to buy her building because of JHJ, gave me enough income, or she was able to do that. So I mean, real life changing. I mean, a guy's house burned down and someone else, sent him, he lost his comic book collection, and then Stacy Horcher sent him comic books. So I think when people want to help others, it's called the helper's high. Okay. It's that feeling when you help that little lady across the street. It's almost selfish sometimes. You feel good when you help others. It is the best feeling you can do, and people want to. They do. I mean, a guy passed away, or his wife passed away, and he had his wife's ring, and he wanted to make something for himself with his wife's ring, and 35 people submitted CAD drawings for him for free. He didn't even ask. People just sent him these designs that they took their time, because I guess my mom says you lead by example, because I show helping, and I used to do, pins for when I had more time, I would list all the people that have helped. But even when somebody else helps others, you can see that gets more views, more people
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. They're listening to it. So I think it helping begets helping, just the same way as negative begets negative. You have a mob mentality. One person's upset, the next person. I mean, helping is just as contagious. And it is awesome how active it is. So when I went on the road for 15 years selling, I accumulated a lot of email addresses. Okay. And so I did have a lot of contacts. Plus, I've been writing this email newsletter for a long time. And so I did have a following, so that when I started this Facebook group, which really the Facebook really got started because of sourcing. So a lot of times someone would be like, Aleah, do you know someone that has a Rolex? Right. And I'd have this block of emails where I would copy and paste, and I would email these 50 people, hey, do you have this Rolex? Or when I was looking for an estate thing, so it became very hard to find stuff. And so I thought if there was something more in real time. Also, I'm very active. We have a mom's Facebook group and a neighborhood Facebook group, and, a cancer support group. So everyone has a Facebook group. But I really do love helping, and that's what my newsletter does every week. It's sales helping, and I know, Guy, you must feel good when you write your articles that help. And so I saw how hard it was for my dad and my uncle and my grandpa in the retail store, and I said we need to do something that helps retailers, because it's so hard. I mean, you can't know your lighting and the website and take out the trash and, be able to get the back off a tag watch and tell if it's an opal doublet. And I mean, it's ridiculous. I'll talk to sometimes an emerald dealer, and they're like, it's crazy. This guy thought he could buy a 2-carat emerald for 5,000. I'm like, they don't know. Do you know how much they have to know? You just have to know emeralds. They have to know everything. They have to know every gem, every gold. They have to know the difference, platinum versus this. And so it's too much. It's too much for one person to know how to do. And so I thought there really needs to be a group where, they should tell you what you can charge for an appraisal, or they can help you know which solder you should use, or how to, the best way to do, opal inlay, that kind of stuff. No one can know how to do all of that. So together we can.
Yeah, and it's a really amazing group. I think there's something like 25,000 members or something like that. How do you see it growing in the future?
every day I'm surprised so every single day I vet members. So that is the behind the scenes hard part, because nobody has anything about jewelry on their Facebook page. It's unbelievable. I'd say about, 30% of people put anything about jewelry on their personal page. And as a salesperson, I think that is the stupidest. You don't have to like be selling, but at least show your like holding a diamond floaty or, have a sparkly dress on, like anything. Show what you love and people will want to do business with you. I hate when people are like, oh, my cousin bought somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, because you didn't remind them what you do all the day. If you're always on your personal page being like, look at this pretty ring, they're not going to go buy from Jared's, so it's half your fault for not reminding anybody. And I guess people want to kind of keep life and work separate, but it's not that way anymore. It's like you are the salesperson. It's not that you work for, Siegel Jewelers. You are Siegel Jewelers. People don't want to buy from Siegel Jewelers. They want to buy from Aleah Siegel, and I am shocked at how nobody, which, makes my life hard when I have to verify everyone that's a jeweler, but even for their own good, I think they should have something resembling jewelry somewhere on their Facebook page. But anyway, so every day there's about 50 applicants. I'd say 10 to 15 get in. You have to be full time. You can't work for a chain store. It's not easy. I am opening a little more to vend. There was like a year or two where I was like, no vendors because we were getting too many with the jeweler ratio, but now we have a very good, enough retailers. I always let pawn guys in because I think they can really benefit. They get a lot of jewelry and they don't always know where to ask or what to do or the outlet for it. So the reason I always let pawn people in from the beginning is I thought they could just benefit for a lot. And you'd be surprised. A lot of pawn shops are crushing it as far as jewelry stores. You go in there and they've got chandeliers. They're wearing beautiful suits. They are classy. I think it's this old timey image we have of pawn shops, but man, they're nice. They're well trained. They have Shane Decker come to their stores too. They know their stuff. So, at least
and they have designer lines too. These pawn shops are getting in nice lines, designer lines too. The advertising I'm seeing locally in North Carolina for some of these big pawn shops, it's amazing. So I'm glad that you let those guys in. I think that's a really, I'm glad you do. I think you do a great job vetting everybody. And I know that takes a lot of time for you to do it. That's just your dedication to this industry it's unprecedented. No one has that dedication like you do.
I love what I do. The real quick on the chain stores. So the reason I don't let them in is I worked for Sterling for about 9 months during college. Okay. And the thing is, if I had not worked for them, I would have been like, of course, Zales and K's employees are jewelers. You guys are just jealous. And, they're equal as much as you. But I work there and they're not. A lot of them are just mall employees or, I hate to say it, but I had like 6 managers in 9 months. The turnover was crazy and nobody knew what, no one knew what a GVS one. They had no idea. And so, I'm sure some do, and I'm not minded to talk negative, but my experience in that little bit changed 10, 15 years later, who I let in Jewelers Helping Jewelers. And so that's another reason why it's only independent. And I'm sure they're, wonderful people, but I don't think that's why I don't let them in JHJ.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. It looks great. What do you got?
Well, we know one thing she also doesn't allow on JHJ. Well, we thought we would talk to you a little bit about that too, if you have a little more time, because the buzz is out there. So, Guy, what were you gonna?
Yeah.
We're curious. What's your stance on lab-grown diamonds?
Yeah, very quiet about this. I think anything that's bad for the diamond industry. So the problem is the marketing. It puts down natural diamonds. So no other synthetic puts down the original. Chatham emeralds don't put down real emeralds. Fake Rolexes don't put down real Rolexes. Fake diamonds accuse real diamonds of child labor, which is untrue. They, human rights abuses. They say that it's bad for the environment. They lie. They lie a lot in the advertising, and they don't tell the customer that the price is plummeting. They say, oh, it might not be worth as much in the future. Might not be. That is not. And even, unfortunately, many jewelers are not really disclosing to the customer that they're not anymore green. They take more carbon emissions, and that the price is like cutting in half every year. Okay. And so anything that's bad for the consumer, I just can't stand behind. But the number one reason is because they put down natural diamonds, and natural diamonds have supported my family for 5 generations. I mean, those miners that are digging those out, I mean, they have supported my grandfather and his grandfather, and I'm not going to let them down now. I'm going to, they've been, in Africa and Botswana, they are down there, and you are hurting those artisanal miners. You are hurting the mining community, and that has supported us, and we've been so spoiled. We've had it so good, and for us to not stand up for them now just would really be a shame. So those are the main reasons.
Right. No, I think with just everything, it's about education and really knowing the facts, and not just not just hearing what other people are saying about something. It's not good. It's not bad. It's this is better. That one's better. You obviously can hear their opinions, but you go find out your own. Get your own information and find out. What you just said there was really very valid, and it holds a lot of truth. That I've heard people talk about lab-grown diamonds, and they prefer them because of all the different reasons that you just mentioned. About natural diamonds, and that makes a lot of sense. So right now on JHJ, people can talk about them. They just can't sell them on JHJ.
Well, 10 million people are fed annually because of natural diamonds. Every kid in Botswana can go to school until the age of 13 because of natural diamonds. I mean, 5 million people have health care because of natural diamonds. And I think we don't talk about the good they do. They really, really, really help people. And it's because, you only hear the bad. It's like maybe in the 70s there were some blood diamonds, so therefore all diamonds are bad. I mean, but diamonds are, even just think in America, all those jewelry stores, all those families, all those kids that are going to college, all those, all those jewelers, children that can, have food on their tables, it's all because of diamonds. And so for us we should be so thankful for natural diamonds for providing so much good in this world. Even in Canada, the mines, they give 70% back into the community. 30% of the people that work in the mines are women. There's just there's so many statistics for good. And so I think that when people sell lab-grown diamonds, they're almost admitting that natural are bad. Here's these fake ones because naturals are bad. And naturals are so, so good, and nobody's talking about how good they are. Well, there are some people, of course. Diamonds Do Good is a wonderful organization, National Diamond Council. Often the jeweler forgets to tell people how much good diamonds really, really do. And the reason I don't want people to sell them, and it drives me nuts that people think it's because I'm a diamond dealer. I'm like, do you know how much money I could make selling lab-grown diamonds? I would have a cornered market. I could be the only one selling them on JHJ, and I could make millions. But I don't, because I don't think it's right. So to think that I don't do it because I want to sell my natural diamonds is absolutely stupid. I would make so much money selling lab ones. I'm very good at selling shit. Anyway, but I don't want to see it all day. I think it's going to flood the feed. First of all, I have to look at JHJ every day to make sure nobody says anything awful, which thank goodness it rarely, rarely happens. But all day long, I have to look at Facebook. And if I don't want to see all day, all this lab grown, this old. I think it would, you know how you start getting all these messages from international sellers, and would you like to buy this Nelly? And you want to, it's like, who wants that? So I think people don't really want it either. We took a vote. I know it was 2 years ago, so people were like, oh, this, but it was a landslide. Okay. Do you know what a landslide is? It was 700 to 100. So the thing is, the 100 do like to complain. And I get a message or two every 2 weeks, is it time and why not and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you were outvoted by a huge percentage. And when I do go to the show, I was just in Vegas, people will come up to me one-on-one, thank you for taking a stand. And, I don't, so hopefully they're not here to stay. And again, do whatever you want in your own store, of course. People act like I'm walking and telling them what to do. You can do whatever the heck you want. But all day long, I have to run this Facebook group, and I just don't want to see it.
Yeah. No, I think you gave a good argument on it. And you're always very, you're open about it. You talk about it. You're not putting anybody down. You're just saying, this is my stance. This is my group. I mean, there are no rules. There's one rule. Don't sell. That's it. And, so
Yeah.
I think you've done a hell of a job trying to wrangle all that in, and keeping us entertained and really just the sales tips that you have are so motivating. It's a great source for all of those jewelers out there. If you need to read Aleah's article. She's got coming up on which is hitting the post office now, our July issue. She has sales tips. She's got a column in there. You can find her on our website. And if you put in her name, all the articles and about her family, it's all on Southern and Mid-America Jewelry News, because we've written about her a lot. And we want to continue to support all these great tools and tips that Aleah gives us every day on JHJ. I mean, you do a great job. We appreciate what you do out there, Aleah.
Oh, well, I like you guys a lot. At least I've seen you, say, my Southern jewelry friend when in Atlanta. I get to see you running around Atlanta hustling. So I love that.
You coming to Atlanta in August?
I am not. We have like a family camp, but I'm always there in March. So
yeah, always in March. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get you on a podcast live in Atlanta in March when we see you. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Right. How was Vegas a lot of fun? I can imagine you throw a mean party.
They had a big party. Did y'all have
We do know how to have a good time. I mean, I think we're in a fun industry. I think most of the time people are really fun people. I mean, we're social people. If you're going to be a retail jeweler, you're going to have to like people. And so most of the time we are very people. And so it's really great to meet other people that are uber social, like, so that like me too. And there are other people that love what you love. So it's always great to just go somewhere where people get you, The thing you mentioned one thing about the no rules on Shades Day. Everybody said that couldn't be done, and I love this because I hate rules. People think if you tell people what to do, it's going to make any difference, and that's not how you make people good. That's never how you lead by example. But rules have never made. I don't know. I'm such a anarchist when it comes to this because people think you can regulate goodness or helpfulness or something. And that's just not how things go. And everyone said you're going to need rules. And I don't. And people surprise me. I take almost nothing down. I mean, there's almost nothing sexist, racist. Like it is, people are incredible. And I was blown away with how awesome everyone's been. So.
Yeah. You got a good group. And I think people are respectful on that group too, for sure. So.
Absolutely. I think we covered a lot of really goodness, and I could tell that you could just keep going for days if we hit you with more topics. But is there anything, anything upcoming that people should look for you at shows?
That is a good thing to say. We are having a party with Solar. So I actually was going to ask them whether it's okay to put in Southern Jewelry News. I don't know. Like they have to double. But we reached for 25,000 members. I wanted to do something really fun and really cool. And I have a really good girlfriend down in New Orleans. And I was like, well, New Orleans is awesome and super fun. And Solar's not too far by. So actually there's going to Solar, we're going to do like 2 party buses and we're going there. We're going to have like a bayou dinner and we're going to have like a tour of their facility and everything. And then we're going to have like a pool party. It's going to be like Tabasco and alligators. I mean, it's going to be freaking amazing. So that's August 12th and we'll post more of that really, really soon. I do talk really fast. And so even though if this is like a half-hour interview, you can count it as like an hour interview. So.
That's right. Well, I was going to ask you a couple of things before we wrap all this up. Yeah. If just some quick things.
Yeah.
The number one advice that you could give selling-wise to a new employee at a jewelry store. She's kind of new. And what would be the one piece of advice you'd give a newbie on the floor?
Yeah, because at first I always say confidence, but if you're new, you're not really confident, and sometimes it's not good to be. Like you shouldn't say, I know this is this, and then you find out you're wrong. That's not good. So I really think enthusiasm, just be a cheerleader. I've heard stories about, these guys that, had a jewelry store for 30 some years. They had all these employees, and then they had an event, and they like just had a couple little old ladies from the neighborhood come and help out, and they would outsell their top salespeople because they were just real, and they were like, look how pretty that is. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, you gotta have it, So just play
Genuine.
jewelry,
Yeah.
just if you think of it not as work and you just play and you have fun, I think that's contagious. I think people want that experience in the jewelry store. They want to feel like they're having a good time. So just just play jewelry with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Be genuine, be yourself. And the more organic you are, the more believable, and people appreciate that. I think, you don't need to have a big sales pitch to come across genuine or, compassionate or with that as well.
Just try to celebrate them. Like, I love when people are like, oh, welcome to Johnson Jewelers. Your ring is here now. Let's go find it. Let's play jewelry together. I love that line. Your ring is here. Let's find it. Because you've already established it's here. I'm with you. Let's go play. Let's go shopping together. Women go shopping. So just make it fun, make it playful, and be happy. And that'll really work. So,
yeah, sounds good advice. Good pearls. Good wisdom that we have here. Well, what do you think is your favorite for you, and what trend wise that you're seeing in naturals right now? What are we on trend for right now? Yes. What I was going to ask you about that.
My enamel. I went crazy in Vegas with enamel. So it's hot pink, hot blues. I just love it because it's so poppy. Also, this diamond chain I'm wearing, nobody has one. So if you're, lots of people have rings and necklaces, but there's a chain that goes across your wrist, and it's comfortable and it's awesome. And so I just really think that's really fun. Long shapes. If you're talking diamonds, long shapes are really hot. Long cushions, long ovals, anything long. It makes your fingers look long. It makes the, you can make some really cool designs with it. It stands out. So that's really what's popular.
Are you selling a lot of ovals right now? Because I know we know it's on trend.
Yes. Yeah, I still think ovals are super, super hot. People will say a long cushion or an oval or an emerald, like really anything that's on a long radiant. So
I have a question. I keep seeing it on a few different groups, and just don't get it. But what's with the penis shaped gems?
It is really funny. I think anything. So we live in an attention economy. If you can get people's attention, you can sell them things. Marketing is theater. You got to put on a show. The thing is, people are scrolling, and you got to get them to stop. I almost thought once if I ran an ad on like Instagram, I would just run it upside down. Like whatever ad it is, just put it upside down, because you have to stop people from scrolling. You have to get their attention. So they're always into like the purple cow, this is a huge marketing thing. If something's left, you put it right. If you wanted to put a diamond on a beautiful woman's hand, put it on a werewolf's hand instead. Put it on a zombie's hand, because if you can get people's attention, you can sell them something.
Yeah.
So I think the penis diamond or whatever it is, it's just different. It just gets your attention. It's a talking point. People just want to say something. Like they want to be heard. They want to say something. So if you have something original, but that's how people want to be noticed. And I think it is. I mean, that's one of my favorite sales things is I once gave a free puppy away with every purchase. It was just a stuffed puppy, and I gave money to the Humane Society, but it was still can you imagine? You're definitely opening a subject line that says free puppy with every purchase. It's all about just getting the attention.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job. Great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Any more questions, Elise?
No, I don't think so. I just, I know that Aleah is a very busy gal, and we can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day. And, look, we want people to know that Aleah does a great job vetting. If you're interested in joining JHJ, just realize there's a process that you have to go through. You can reach her. And, if you're looking for a good diamond, this gal, I bought some from her before. She goes over and above and beyond to pick out what you need with Olympia. So tell them how they can get in touch with you if somebody is looking to buy a diamond.
Oh, that's so great. Really, if you put in Aleah anywhere, ALEAH, I swear I probably sent you an email sometime, because been selling diamonds for 22 years. So just Google me and I'll pop up. So
yeah.
Sounds good. Well, we had an amazing time here. We talked about a lot of really cool stuff, and really felt your enthusiasm. So thank you, Aleah, so much for joining us here in the Pearls of Wisdom. And as always, I think we had another great episode. So this is great. We'll see you sometime. We can't wait to see you.
March of next year, but hopefully beforehand. Yeah. But we'll have Aleah back on too. Yeah, we love you a lot. Keep sending in those great articles. Keep inspiring people to sell more diamonds. Yeah. Keep being funny, weird, and whimsical. That's what we like. It's good. Awesome. Yeah, you keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. And have a great day. We'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.